With the pandemic, things have been a little bit strange here on campus. Students and faculty alike have had to improvise, adapt, and overcome in unique ways. But how has the pandemic affected music students? Join me in a discussion with Dr. Martha Malone and graduate student Samantha Friedman on how they produced Mercer's first socially distanced opera, Viva la Mama.
Hi, my name's Samantha Friedman. I am a second-year graduate student at the Townsend School of Music.
I'm Martha Malone. I've been at Mercer since 1990. Viva la Mamma is the subtitle of an Italian opera by Donizetti from the 19th century. It was written in 1827.
Viva la Mamma is about a small opera company trying to put on an opera, and everything starts to go wrong. And the whole opera is basically people quitting, people storming out, and it's a fun little farce.
Viva la Mama!
Townsend is taking every precaution to be sure that students are socially distancing during the opera production. Students are given plastic containers to put their belongings in. Props are separated by pink duct tape. Temperature checks are mandatory. After every 30-minute rehearsal, the students must break for 20 minutes to allow the air to recirculate through the room. Everyone sings 6 feet apart, and of course, each vocalist has their own customized singer's mask.
What are some challenges that specifically vocalists face when it comes to performing?
Yeah, so, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, we know that, or we think we know that it's being transmitted by aerosols. And of course, as vocalists, when we sing, we're just spraying them everywhere. So we must remain masked, which immediately, that is just something that is very difficult as a singer. We're not used to having something over our face.
And the mask I'm wearing allows me to articulate the words I'm singing, because German is such a beautiful language. I want to make sure everyone hears what I'm saying. And it's away from my mouth, and all right here is super loose so I can sing.
And it kind of makes you look like a duck. But basically, it just comes out over your mouth and covers it. So you're kind of like, it's like singing more into a box.
There's wires right here and right here to help it keep away. And right here kind of fits my face a little more, right here on my nose. And it fits so perfectly and it's so comfortable, and it keeps everybody safe. So
I was very proud of them because singing in those in the hot lights, with wigs on, with costumes on, I was glad nobody fainted.
Mama is a big follower of the social distancing. She does her best.
In addition to practicing social distancing, graduate student Samantha Friedman took it upon herself to rewrite the entire opera script to fit the time of COVID-19.
My grad student, Samantha Friedman, we were talking during her lesson. She was having Zoom lessons all summer, and she said, we could update the dialogue, the English dialogue to the show to the current time, and make the masks and the distancing part of the comedy.
This is already a comedic opera, and it's very goofy. It's public domain. There's no reason we can't rewrite the script slightly to incorporate social distancing, just so that we can say, oh, remember, there's a pandemic, don't get too close. But then as I looked into the show more, I kind of decided, no, I think it really needs a full facelift. Let's give it a little bit more. And then I ended up taking a stand-up comedy writing class online because I was just bored over the summer. So I took this class, and I had always been curious about how jokes are structured, because in music we have very strict structure to music. Started to sort of play around with that, and I just sort of sat down with the old script and I started writing.
So then we were able to do a production where we distanced the singers on stage and made that part of the humor.
I really couldn't be on campus this semester because I have some autoimmune conditions. It was a great way for me to still be able to participate in the opera.
In light of all this hard work you've put into the opera, do you consider your work to be research in the traditional sense?
Yes and no. I mean, what isn't research a lot of the times? I had to really think in research about how to make fun of COVID without making fun of COVID. Once it was written and once I started to hear the cast say the lines, we had to change things. And so it was kind of like an ongoing research project for me.
Without a live audience, Mercer's Viva la Mama was recorded at the Grand Opera House.
One of the things that I think a lot of people at Townsend are getting very good at right now is making recordings. because we kind of understand that you can't have an audience right now. So we're learning how to now be our own sound engineer and our own video engineer, even if it's just for something small.
I think it's going to help us in the arts adjust, adapt, and it will produce some more creative endeavors of different kinds. I just find that our music students are a supportive community. They are not, I know everybody's competitive to some degree, but generally they're quite supportive of one another, as you've, I'm sure, experienced. And it's a great community and a great place to learn. Great place to find out who you are.
And I think everyone should study music. I think it's good for the heart, I think it's good for the soul, and I think it's good for the world.